All right, welcome back, guys. I am mind blown. Some of you know I posted a story on Instagram and Facebook and asked a question or a number of questions, one of which was, what is our greatest liability, or what are our greatest liabilities? Thinking in my mind, we'll get a dozen responses and maybe that will prove useful to our discussions going forward. Yeah. 200 responses later, and I'm like, okay, let me try to make sense of this. So, huge thank you to everyone who participated in that, answered those questions. But launching right into it, I bet you cannot guess. I bet you can guess what the top most cited deficiency in men is today. So I'm just going to tell you, number one, and this is primarily a female perspective, and I'll follow it up with a male perspective. Number one, leadership. I have the list right in front of me here, and of course I'm not going to find everything that I'm looking for because there's too many, but I'll just read a few. Leadership, an old-fashioned grid. Christian leadership, those came in back to back. Maybe one of our deficiencies would be, quote, not taking leadership when necessary. Lack of initiative, lack of leadership, true leadership qualities, Christ-like leadership, and on and on and on and on and on. And some people actually mixed it with this interesting concept of leadership and initiative. So taking the lead in the context of a relationship, in the context of spirituality, relationships with God, in the context of the church or business. Interesting perspective, and very widespread. Now there was another one that seemed connected to me, and this one was mostly us guys that were perceiving it, and that was confidence. And so I sat there thinking, is it possible these are the same thing? Is it possible that we possess a lack of confidence, and that lack of confidence displays to the world as a lack of leadership, or a lack of initiative, or a lack of good ideas, a lack of creativity, a lack of impetus? Interesting. If that's the case, then potentially we have part of the solution to the single most oft cited problem. That would be exciting. Some of the other things I wrote down, actually the numbers, how many, let's see. Oh, eight different people responded with purpose. Men lack purpose. And I would go beyond that and say, why do we lack purpose? Is it because we don't understand our identity? Identity and purpose are linked, right? The purpose of a toaster oven is, I've used this illustration many times, the purpose of a toaster oven is established in the factory, or actually on the design table. A toaster oven does not, chill food. It toasts bread, golden brown, both sides. A refrigerator is not supposed to toast things golden brown. So identity and purpose are inextricably linked. If we're lacking purpose, maybe we're lacking in a clarity on our identity, which I think that's a distinct possibility as well. A couple other people pointed out we have this issue with listening. Number one, sometimes we don't listen. And number two, if we do listen, this was a female pointing this out, probably, obviously. If we do listen, then we are immediately trying to fix the problem, where the implication of the answer was, and this came through several times, the implication is, listen, don't fix. I don't need you to fix the problem. I just need you to listen to the problem. Interesting. So communication skills. Another one that was interesting. We don't know how to express emotions, don't know how to express feelings, or one young man put it, explore kind of sensitive topics. Okay, yeah, I can see that too. And what does that require? Anyway, I think that's a question worthy of discussion. Let me see if there's one more thing. Confidence, listening. Oh yeah, and then of course, as you can imagine, I made my note over there because my list is too long here. A lot of comments regarding just sensitivity, being more in tune to the needs of the opposite gender, or understanding better. Understanding females, women was one of the way one person put it. Not being afraid to show feelings and be vulnerable. To community, that's the way another person put it. Anyway, I'm reefing through these and realizing, wow, we have a lot to explore, a lot to discuss, and even just starting here, there's the flip side of that too, which is the idea of toxic masculinity. And what does that look like? This kind of machismo, super, kind of the weightlifter macho man, and what lies behind that. Some men and women both, I think, astutely observed, maybe it's insecurity that lies behind that. We have to be macho and strong and big, but that destroys relationship, right? So maybe we're not accomplishing what we're setting out. We're kind of meeting our fate on the road we take to avoid it, so to speak. So again, mind blown. All right, we have the discussion starts here. I'm super excited. The questions that kind of stick with me now, and I think you should ponder as we launch into this. Why don't we lead? If leadership really is our greatest need, why don't we lead? What stands in the way of a man taking the lead? And maybe it is that confidence thing. But if it's that confidence thing, why aren't we confident? Where is our identity gone? And how can we recapture it, right? Answer in the comments below. If you have any ideas, throw them out there. How do we find the confidence if we don't have it? How do we learn to be gentle, to be sensitive, to listen, to be in tune to the other person, while at the same time being strong, being a leader, being valiant, being a man? How do we learn to express feelings without, blowing everyone over with our feelings? How do we learn to be vulnerable without causing harm? I could ramble, and I am rambling already, and because I'm excited. But here's the thing: join the discussion. The discussion starts here. Here are the questions that we're starting with. Why don't we lead? What is our purpose? How do we find confidence? What does it mean to listen? What does it mean to be sensitive? How do you be sensitive and be strong at the same time? How do you be manly without being macho at the same time? How do you express feelings without hurting people at the same time? That's a lot, and we're going to take them one by one in various videos and discussions here. But join the conversation. We have a brand new Facebook group, The Lion and His Men. Search for it, join. That's where most of the conversation is going to be taking place at this point. Check back here every week, subscribe, hit that bell icon so that you get notified every time there's a new video. We'll be tackling these things together. I'll be coming back giving summaries of what we've learned, and we'd love to have you right in there with us. I can't wait to see what God is going to do with this new brotherhood of men who are banding together in search of lost identity, in search of purity, in search of strength, in search of the roar of the lion and the love of the lamb. So again, join us on our Facebook group. Search for The Lion and His Men. Subscribe here on YouTube. Click that bell icon so you get notified every time there's a new post. And let's do this thing.